Peace, 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 peace. I'm gonna give everybody a minute. Hope everybody is doing well today. Just a little check, a mental check. Hope everybody's good. And if you're not, I hope you can be feeling better by the time we end this live. How about that? Oh, peace, the ghetto messiah. Make sure you it's the right one now. It is a imitator account that's inboxing people, so I want y'all to be sure y'all know y'all talking to the right person, because it's not me a lot of times. Right, Bobby Hemi. Y'all alright? It's on that the card. Alright. So I'm just, it's a Friday. It's the end of the month. So I just wanted to check in with y'all. Yep, that's me, the Ghetto Messiah. I absolutely appreciate you. Appreciate it. How's everybody doing? I've been really a lot more busy lately, so I haven't gotten as much content out this week. So y'all pardon me for not giving as much content this week. But I've been working on the course, so that's really kind of been taking up my energy. Been putting a lot into that. So, once we get that all wrapped up, that'll be better as well. So, but we appreciate all the support, all the support that we've been getting. If you bought the book, if you've gotten an energy report, been getting a lot of people getting a lot of the energy reports. It's been helping a lot of people. So that's still available. If you want to get the energy report, we're working on the courses. So we just, we're just getting everything out there for everybody. So, and I haven't been live in a few days, so I thought I would connect with y'all for a minute, just to kind of check in and make sure we doing well. We are a tribe. We tribe. So, we support each other along our journeys. So, so the numerology has been major, been a lot of the source of where my energy is going, just formulating the best means to distribute that information to people so it can best be applied to their lives. So if you got the book, you kind of already got a good little introduction for it, Oh, you turned 32 today. Okay. Well, at 32, already being on the path that you are on, man, I would say just continue to, stay connected on your path. And you can't go wrong. I would say that. So if you're 32 today, let me see. So that's 729. What's that? 90. You were born in 90. 729.90. So I believe that's, let me see, 9, it's 18, 28. I believe that's 3710. Yeah, I believe that's 3710. So for you, you are all about breaking through the new barriers with that 10. But you got strong empathetic ability, so you're an empath. So as an empath, it's always important that you maintain balance for your energy, because it's very easy for you to absorb other people. It's very easy for you to get wrapped up in their energy. And what can happen is it can drain you, because you can really heal other people with your energy. And for yourself, if you're ever dealing with something, you need to change your mood, you need to change your energy. For you, music can be a gateway for you. So you can put on the right type of music and you can switch your vibe up. That's a key little cheat code for you if with a 3710. For what?
Person energy 46. I didn't know if you was trying to pull it out.
Well, you could have came and did it. Yeah. Okay, but I appreciate the support. I do see y'all messages. I appreciate that. I was too world. I appreciate it, because a lot of people do come with a lot of ruckus. So I try and maintain and stay my course. So I appreciate the the reception of it all. So these are just tools anyway. These are all tools for us to develop ourselves. It's nothing but personal development. We all it's funny because even in our our slang, I'm gonna be minding my business. We are a business. You are a business. Your character is the greatest business that you can ever develop. So you always gotta keep that in mind when you out here working in the world. So, you gotta mind the business that pays you. That's your personal development. See, they took everything and really kind of flipped it on us and got us living out this simulation, man. But that's how we so lost and disconnected from ourselves now. That's why we lack the spiritual concepts, because we so caught up in this matrix. They took everything and just flipped it. That's pretty much how it always is. They flipped everything. Yep, mental reflects on the inner. And the inner child, absolutely. I'll definitely agree with that, absolutely. As within, so without. Your outer world is reflected based on your inner world. And I know we talk a lot of times about our thoughts and, when it comes to meditation and controlling our thinking, but your feelings play a part in it too. It's also about how you feel. How are you feeling about yourself? Because you can try and, because we got to remember that our thoughts create the patterns. The thought patterns drives the emotion, the energy, emotion. So how we feel is a byproduct of that as well, and also plays a factor in how we manifest. But we don't always talk about that. So a lot of times, we try and avoid our feelings or suppress our feelings and things like that. When in reality, we have to work with them. We got to work with them. It's kind of a part of this whole journey as a human being. It's kind of part of it. So let's see. Let's do some readings. Give me some birthdays. Let's talk about some life path energy. Since we're doing a mental health check, it's no better, that's one of the best means of evaluating of self. When we're dealing with astrology, dealing with numerology, 10, 30, 78. So that's 4, that's 14 plus 9, 23. Let me see, 10, 30, when I say 78, so 25 plus 4, that 25 plus 4, so that would be a 29, 11, yeah. So Amentera. So that's why you say 11, because you have a master number of an 11. Now, so 2911 has a lot of lessons around cooperation and balance. So you learn how to balance. You got to balance things. You can overgive or you can undergive, and in that sense, you're going to always attract your opposite. So a lot of times people with that too have that balance cooperation issue internally. So you got to naturally balance within yourself. You always can be going this way and that way. You can always see both sides of a thing. So it can make it hard for you sometimes So it can make you kind of indecisive. But once you work through those inner conflicts, you know, it'll kind of make things better out. Because that 11 is still like a 2. So remember, with a 2, we dealing with intuition. You know, we dealing with, you know, like the dark side of things, the hidden side of things. So 11s is like a portal, you know. Think about Stranger Things, the girl's name 11. So in 11, that's why people 11, they say make a wish, because you're talking about portal energy. You're talking about, you know, activating, you know, creative energy. So you're very, very creative. So, but it can affect your confidence. So when things don't go the way you wanted to go, you know, it might take a little bit more for you to keep pushing, because it can really affect your confidence. Because you're so creative, you're so innovative, you're so much out in front of others, you know, that you have to be confident enough to for it to just be you sometimes. And so, but a lot of that as an 11, and a 29-11, you may have to deal with, you know, healing from trauma, from abuse. You know, whether that be physical, sexual, or even verbal. It could be verbal abuse. It could be, you know, somebody used to really talk down to you a lot when you were young. So you have to work through that. So 29-11s a lot of times may have to work through that. Some type of, you know, a mental pattern center that's kind of close to abuse or bullied or something like that, you know. 8/27/93. So let me see. It's 12 plus 10 is 22. It's 30. So it's 39. So 8/27/93. So you're 39/12. So I have a similar life. I have the same life path. You know, it's who else has this life path energy? Kevin Hart. So we deal with a lot of things. A lot of times we can be late bloomers. Hold on. Hey son, I'm on the live, man. So we can be late bloomers sometimes, but it's because we can do so many things. It's hard for us to know, you know, what's really for us to go out in the forefront. So if you are a late bloomer, don't trip, don't worry. It's just all a part of it. It's because you got so many talents, so many gifts. You got to work through so many things, you know. So with the 3, it's about expression, but it's also sensitivity. So you can be sensitive about things, but it's a call for you to be expressive. So you have a gift in your expression. So when you talk to people, you could be very inspirational to them. You can be very motivational. But if they catch you in the wrong space, you can cut them and tear them down with what you say, depending on what type of space you're in. Because ultimately your end number is a 3. So you got a lot of 3 emphasis. And so because you also have a 12, if you can find the right person to partner with, you can make anything bigger than it is. So you can lead. You have the ability to lead. You have the ability to be behind and to be a partner. But if you can partner, you can make it bigger. You know, that's what, you know, that 39/12. And, you know, with a 9, a lot of things is about integrity for you. So some things that people do and they get away with, you can't get away with it. Because you have to go by a higher law, because you're dealing with that 9 type of energy. So it's like at the end. So you're supposed to know better. So you have to do better. And if you don't do better, you're going to suffer the consequences behind it. So that might be why sometimes you might feel like, man, I ain't about to try it, because you might feel like you can't get away with it. But that's why. And you could have issues around the father. A lot of 39/12s have issues around the father, whether the father wasn't around, whether the father was real hard on them and molded how they view, how they have to be in society, you know. But a lot of times it can be abandonment too. Even if they didn't physically abandon, it could be emotional abandonment, you know. So that can be a thing. 11/15/94. Let me see, 3, that's 8, 18 plus 13. I believe that's a 31/4, if I'm correct. All I'm doing is adding up the digits. So as a 31/4, you're dealing with 3, 1, and 4. So your primary number is a 4. It's all about stability and process. So you have to, whatever it is you're trying to do, you can lose your patience a lot. That's the key. You have to follow the process. You can't skip steps, because when you skip a step, you're going to end up creating more work for yourself, because the lesson for you is in the process, because you have to learn the process. You might have, you know, lessons around commitment, committing to things, staying with things, finding something you want to stay with. Or you could be the opposite in the same sense and be very stubborn or fixed or stuck in something and don't know how to get out of it. So it can kind of go either way. You know, you can be a hard worker, you're very strong. You know, you very, you know, people want to lean on you, want to depend on you. So you're also dealing with creativity and confidence. So you're creative, but you have to be confident in your creativity. You know, be confident enough to be different sometimes. And that's for the most part when we talking about the 31-4. There's kind of a lot of these up here. It's kind of a lot of these up here. So that's really why, and because it's so many means of interpreting. Like I said, the way we view the numbers, we look at every number. We feel like every number impacts you. And not only that, you can take your birth date, and your birth date has a birth chart depending on the numbers that's in your birth date. And there's certain things that, you know, that you can see when you understand how to do a birth chart with the numbers, with the digits. So everything is really all interconnected, you know. So when you get to talking about numerology, it's so, you know, it's such a great tool. It's such a great tool that you can use to understand people in a different way. The kind of like the way people do astrology, but, you know, just in a different sense, maybe in a more simplified terms. So when you 22, well, 22, see, that's what I mean. Like, so the way that we learned it, that's like, you'll find your primary number is going to be a 4. But if it comes up to a 22, see, a 22 is a master number. So 22 carries a whole different vibration along with that 4, because you're dealing with 2 2s. So that's like, because it's a master number because it has to do with the Hebrew. It has to do with the number 22 when you're looking in the Hebrew system. So when you get to looking at these systems centered around numbers, then, you know, it kind of makes it a little more sense. But it just means as a master builder. So you think about 11 is 2 1s. So the 22 is 2 2s. So you're very super, you know, intuitive. You have a lot of intuitive energy, and it's a builder. So you're able to build anything, but you have to do it out of love. So a lot of what you go through, and these are one of the more challenging energies, you know, because a lot of it is stimulated in boundaries, and you learn a lot through your relationships. So that 22 is kind of different. You may want to look into that as, you know, the esoteric meaning to the number 22. You know, instead of putting in, when y'all search stuff on Google, instead of putting in the spiritual meaning, put in the occult meaning or the esoteric meaning of it, and it'll give you a little bit more, because the spiritual umbrella is so, you know, it's so flimsy, and you got so much new age in there. And it's not that I'm just against new age. I understand a lot of stuff from new age, but it can lack a foundation. So, you know, you might want to think about that. You know what I mean? You might want to think about it when you're looking into some things. So, but you know, it all is, you know, what it is at the end of the day. So what's good? Anybody wanna anybody got anything specific? I got a question out here. Let's see. Just a birthstone every month. What's that? It says your post on the gemstones in the Bible is also where the astrology doctrine comes from, such as the birthstones. It's connected to it. I wouldn't say that's all that it comes from, though, because it's a lot of symbology all throughout the Bible that kind of correlates with the zodiac or the astrology. Like, you know, the killing of the bulls representing the Taurus. Like, it's just a lot of symbology. And I honestly don't really care to get into the Bible in a sense of trying to bring people from it into something else, because I just I don't know. I just don't really feel the need to really do that. It just, when people are making that transition, it's kind of good for them to see that the interconnectedness on different levels. But it's not to prove. If you're doing anything to prove something, then you already not doing. You already off center. You already off. It's already in a means of ego. That's already ego driven. So I try not to sway. That's why I try not to post depending on the comments a lot. So that's why I don't engage. I used to engage in the comments more, but that's why I don't engage in it as much, because that's not really what I'm trying to do. And I don't want my energy getting caught all up in it. So that's why, so I just kind of put the information there. And it's kind of, you can do with that what you will type of thing. So that's kind of how I do it. I like to, I do what I do, and I just leave it in my hand, leave it as it is. But as a person that came out of that, I can understand seeing the connectedness across the board as you travel along your journey. So I can get there. And everybody's not going to follow and get onto everything that you're doing. I think that, that's the symbolic meaning behind this, the step pyramid. The higher you go, the smaller it's going to get. The less people are going to be there, So you have to be comfortable with that. That's why I feel like you really have to do that shadow work, because you got to be comfortable in your own skin. You have to be comfortable with your own thoughts. You have to be comfortable with where your heart leads you. Because if not, you're going to be easily swayed. You're going to be easily swayed, especially when you're dealing with this internet, this false reality, so much of this illusion. It's too easy to be swayed by the illusion. So you want to be solid, you want to be anchored. The way I see it, you want to be anchored to the real. So that's just how I see it. I can have a true reaction talk back in the movie. They would say I'm crazy. They absolutely would say you crazy. They would say that. But that's the world we live in. But I am noticing it's a lot more people that's not afraid to share those types of things. There are a lot more communities that nurtures that, but you do have to be careful. You got to be mindful, because for some people, that's too much for them. That triggers something for them. So, it's you just in your you just got to do your due diligence. You just got to do your due diligence. But because it's still so many comments and whatever about that gemstones post, and I know what I get into when you get into posting doctrines. It's always gonna trigger people. It's always gonna trigger people, and sometimes that's the point, because sometimes people need to think, and sometimes that's what it takes. And it's just a planting of a seed. But that's not the overall. The overall drive behind it. We gotta let them people be. We gotta let people be what they are. We really trying to progress on our spiritual journey. We gotta let them be what they are, and we just have to move on. We have to be comfortable enough to move on, because somewhere you have to ask yourself, why aren't you moving? Due to other people's stagnation. Are you gonna keep yourself stagnant because they want to be stagnant? So you got to be comfortable with leaving people behind and letting them go. And that's hard for me. It took me a long time. And in a way, I feel like it's kind of connected to people pleasing. I feel like it's kind of connected to acceptance. Still needing to be accepted on some level. So, and as humans, we need love. We want love. So we have to get to a point where some things we got to stand for and know that our love for ourselves is enough. That's why I made that post saying, if you love your decisions, you don't need nobody else to love your decisions for you. You feel me? Because as long as you need somebody else to love your decisions, you're going to doubt yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're going to question yourself. You're going, am I doing this? And am I doing it the way I should be? And as long as you're doing it, you're going to drive yourself, you're going to drive yourself to a crazy place. That's not good mental health. It's not good mental health. So good mental health is putting you in a good place of yourself, because you want to be the best version of yourself, because you can't be good in any other space without being good here first. That's parenting, being a good sibling, a good friend, a good spouse, on your job or building your business, whatever you're doing. So It's kind of what it is. And yeah, I feel you. You kind of do want to keep it to yourself. I feel that. It's Anthony. Yeah. As far as going through religion, I feel that. Because you have to. I feel like if you're truly searching, everybody's not truly seeking. That's something else I had to learn. I had to learn not everybody's looking for what I'm looking for. Not everybody's seeking what I'm seeking. I had to realize that, because that's how people can get taken advantage of too. That's how you can end up following people for the wrong reasons. You gotta know who you are. You have to know who you are out here. And there's too many things out here trying to tell us what we are and what we are not. And you can't let me, in my mind, you can't let nobody else define you for you. You have to do that for you. You have to do that for you. Everybody out here, everything out here is trying to define you for you. But it's like they say, the Matrix can't tell you who you are. So when these people have these arguments, about this and this, well, it don't matter to me, because can't nobody tell me who I am. I don't care what you think. You can't tell me who I am. How you gonna tell me who I am? You know me better than me? How you gonna know me better than me? You can't know me better than me. So, people against the notion, but it's happening either way. Absolutely. We are always meant. It's what I realize is it's all about understanding. See, I get why the feet, right? The spiritual purpose behind the feet. Like how in Islam, they wash the feet. Even in Christianity, they had the nailless feet. Like everything has a deeper meaning to it. So when you talk about the feet, right? One thing about the spiritual meaning behind cleansing the feet is very important spiritually, because it represents what you stand on, right? So whatever you understand has to do with your feet. So that's also connected to the Pisces engine, and it's connected to spirituality. So, and a lot of people, what I realized too, a lot of people try to argue. You can't argue my spirituality with me. Like you can't tell me that I worship rocks. You can't tell me that, bro. I don't worship no rocks. I don't worship nothing outside of me. You just lack an understanding to be able to grasp the concept and what it is that I'm speaking. So you speaking of fear, you speak from a place of fear. I understand. I get that. So, when people say walk a mile in my feet, it's just symbology. I don't know. I just see reality and just interpret everything through that sometimes. So sometimes it ain't always good now. Sometimes it's not always good. It's hard for me to be just regular sometimes in just regular environments, because, some things are speaking to me in a language and nobody else can see that language. Yep, they will judge you. Tend to follow the leader. Yep. But we all judge. We all judge. We have to judge. We have to judge for ourselves, because we have to make a decision about things. We judge in terms of to ourselves. The key is not to condemn. You don't condemn. Even the Bible tells them that you don't condemn, because all you're doing is bringing the same punishment to yourself. You pretty much bringing that same thing on yourself. But in a sense, we all judge innerly. We do. We all judge innerly. We have to be honest about that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't judge people to condemn them for anything. I think me being me, the type of person that I am, the type of stuff that I looked into, the type of stuff that people will say to me because of the things that I'm into, I could never tell a person not to be their self, regardless of what their choice in their life is, even if it's not for me. See, so for me, that's just me realizing, well, that's not for me, but I don't think you a bad person. I'm not going to say that you bad just because of that thing. So I think that's where we kind of mess up. It be the condemning, because we do judge. We all do judge. We're not, to a certain degree. But, when we get to that place where it's, you're doing it a little too much, because everything in moderation, we need balance with everything. But when passing judgment on people, it's like cutting them with your sword. So people who do tarot, right? You know, we deal with swords. You're dealing with the air element, right? You're dealing with the air element. You're dealing with the mind, right? You're dealing with thoughts, right? So you passing judgment on a person. You projecting your own thoughts into that person, adhering them to the punishment that you feel like they warrant, based on how you judge them. Because we all judge. Remember, because from our own inner world, we project all of this from here. Why do the Bible call our souls? Yep, exactly. How it's spelled, but on with this. But see, that's the thing. I feel like that's the spell in the language. It's a lot of just spell in our language, in the things that we say, the what we perceive when we hear certain words, what we think, how we automatically place certain words. And that's, I think, is the spell. I think that's the spell. That's absolutely what I think is the spell, because so many things that are of our natural spiritual nature, we have a negative perception of them now. So it's almost like us going against ourselves, and we don't even know it. You feel me? It's like we don't even know it, because we're going against our own self, our own natural spiritual nature. We condemn it, and we be like, nah, it's bad and all these other things. So we automatically putting ourselves at a disadvantage. It's like having a tank, but you don't want to use the tank. You know what I'm saying? You going to war, you got a tank, but you don't want to use the tank because you think using the tank is bad. So we've been programmed and put under this spell to see things a certain way. So anything that, tampers with it, our mind automatically rejects it. Oh no, that can't be. That's how that cognitive dissonance come in. Oh no, that can't be. Everything go out the window, because it can't override that programming. It can't override that programming. It's funny how much technological terms and analogies apply. It's funny. It's funny, but it ain't. If you know, you know. But it's not really funny, It's funny, but it ain't funny. It's funny, but it ain't funny, because it's right in front of our face, but we don't know how to see it. It's like we sleepwalking. Speak on COVID. Oh, man. It's a spiritual attack. It's an attack from your crown down. It'll attack you from here. That's why so many things go on with people breathing, their heart rate and stuff like that, because it's this part of your brain that control all your involuntary functions. And it's like a virus invading a computer. You know how you get a virus? You know how you get a virus on your computer and it start glitching and it start messing up? That's what happened. So that's why a lot of people, it take them so long to recover. They still be recovering. They be having foggy memory, all type of stuff going on. It just don't even be seeming like, how is this even happening? And it's like the underlying condition. So it's an outright attack. I mean, we know viruses attack our body, but this is a different type of attack. It's a different type of attack, the way it's attacking people's body. Like I'm telling you, it's an attack on you from your spiritual body on down. It attacks your crown. It attacks your crown now. It's connected to the corona. The corona. We're talking about the sun. We're talking about the crown. It's talking about your halo. Why lock us down? Why were we locked down? Kept inside. There's so many things, man, we could really talk about when we get to talking in it. There's so much. There's so much that we could talk about it. How do we protect our crown? Well, in terms of, spiritual protection, you always want to protect yourself spiritually anyway, or psychic protection. So that's on an energetic level. But in terms of, if you do have to, or if you did have to take, the jab or whatever, you just want to try and cleanse as much as you can, look into, sea moss, look into your black seed oil, look into, all of your holistic means. Look into all of your holistic means, because it's not just physical. It's not just physical, because your mental is not the same. And see, once and when you like involuntary functions glitch like that, it does something to you. You become consciously aware of that, not knowing what's going on. That then it filters down, it reels the chakra down. So that's what I get when I talk, as far as COVID. Like that's crown chakra. Like it's attacking you from here on down. It's literally like a virus invading a computer. Because your mind is a computer. Your mind is a computer. You think about it. When your computer is on, it's so many different programs and functions that's running that you can't see. Your brain is doing the same thing. There's so many things that's going on in your body that you don't tell it to do. Regulating your body, you don't tell it to do that. Your body does that by itself. Your body does that. And so when you have a foreign entity, that's invaded that, that's, kind of played with it, altering your DNA, then of course it's gonna affect your functions. Like a computer don't run the same when you get a virus on there. So knowing that it doesn't run the same, it's kind of like that. That's why a lot of people now, they still recovering. Yeah. So that's kind of how it is. But I just wanted to hop on with you all for a minute. I haven't been on live in a couple days. Okay, 125C. What you need help with? Making different names these past years of the virus. Well, now it depends on how you want to look at it now. If you want to believe what they say, but from what they're saying, right? They're saying that it's the virus it adapts, because whatever medicine or whatever that you give, that you use to go against an infection, a virus or whatever, they can mutate and adapt. So they're saying that it has adapted, so many ways, whether that's because of the jab or whatever, so but if we're being honest with ourselves, we do know there's a such thing as biological warfare. We do know that, a lot of they can make diseases in labs. They can alter diseases in labs. There's questionable things about, the so-called variants, genetically in the variants of the virus, But, a lot of things ain't a coincidence. A lot of things is not a coincidence. But, it's absolutely, like a weaponized virus. mRNA technology. I don't really know about the technology that they saying. But, as far as mRNA, that's your messenger RNA. So that's what's going to tell your DNA, because your RNA replicates. You got messenger RNA. It's different forms of RNA. Y'all got to maybe bring out the biology books. But it's really, at the end of the day, a lot of it boils down to really how much can we really believe what they say. At the end of the day, it's really kind of all we can really do. What it really boils down to. And they don't got no good track record in my eyes. They don't have no good track record. Nope. Speaking of which, y'all, I saw a note. Anybody saying nope? Anybody saying nope? Me and the husband, we went and saw Nope. You are welcome. Sarcastically polite. You're welcome. No problem. We saw Nope, y'all. We didn't really like it that much as a movie. We didn't really like it that much. We didn't like it that much. It was okay, man. You know, it's a couple breakdowns out there on it. I just didn't like it. I didn't really like it. I didn't like it, man. It just could have been better. Just the movie in general. If I'm just speaking from just watching a movie, it wasn't like an enjoyable movie. You know, like it was so many questions in there. A lot of people, and I don't know. You know, I know a lot of people ain't seen it, but it was a lot of people that didn't like the monkey. It was like, what's the point of the monkey? And it's like, I kind of get it, you know. I guess that was in reference to the dude Jupiter, you know, from him going through that in his youth to him thinking he could have a relationship with a, you know, a predatory alien entity. I guess that was in a sense that connection, but I ain't really like it all that much. But I'm sure it's some, like I said, it's some pretty detailed. I might have to check them out myself, because I kind of, you know, like I said, I just didn't really enjoy it like that. So yeah, but you know, maybe I think it was maybe in a sense the aliens ain't gonna save us. Maybe that's what the message was. Ain't no aliens gonna save us. If anything, they the ones preying on us, which is an interesting concept. We could say that's the case, you know. That could be the underlying meaning of it, but he was a little too far out there for me. I like Us and Get Out better. Way better. Who's seen Thor though? I know it's probably a lot in Thor. Marvel always have the jewels in it. Marvel always, Disney always have the jewels in it. Always. But I'm not the type. I don't really get emotional about it though. Like I just see it for what it is. Like Beyonce, you know, Beyonce put out today, so a lot of people gonna put a lot of energy into that. You know, they're gonna say, you know, she into, you know, witchcraft and all that type of stuff, but I don't really see nothing wrong with it. I don't know. It's different. I be feeling out of place in certain discussions, certain topics, because some things don't really bother me, because I look at it like, well, damn. What if a month from now, right? What if I blew up or something? Like, I would probably use the same type of symbolism. So they probably would say the same thing about me. So, you know. Very differently. You know, I view that very differently than most people, because I have a different understanding of it. So I don't come to the same conclusions. So for some things, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? What? Y'all can't hear me? Instagram playing? Y'all can hear me now? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. Alright. I think I had a call come in or something. That's probably why. But yeah, man, I look at it different. So when I see these symbols, to me they just, it's a language. So when I see them, I don't see them and be thinking, damn, they worship the devil. I don't do that. You feel me? Because I don't know. Maybe I don't know. You feel me? Because there's so much spiritual and esoteric meaning behind these symbols, and that's just like a lot of times we see these symbols and we be like, oh, they say they Satanists or they satanic, and I'd be like, no, that's not it. That's not what that is. It's just symbolism. It's literally just symbolism. Now it might be some mockery. Now they might be mocking us a little bit. Now they may be playing like mocking because we don't know and they know, but it's not that. And I wonder why we keep reverting to that, because it doesn't make sense to me. Because we know, if we know esoterically speaking, and we understand that we are talking about polarity, that we understand it as far as religion is concerned, as far as Christianity is concerned, everything about the devil, right, comes from a science that's talking about a polarity. So we're talking about two opposing polarity entities, right? We're just talking about polarities. We're just talking about, it's no different than saying we're talking about temperature. It's no different than saying, well, damn, I don't know where exactly hot is or where exactly cold is, but I can grasp that, I can estimate that this here is it's probably cold at 0 degrees and it's probably hot at 100 degrees, but it's just temperature. You see what I'm saying? So we're talking about polarities. We're just talking about energies. And when we understand this esoterically, I don't get why we still push the notion about, I don't get why we still do that as enlightened people. I don't get why we do that, why we continue to revert back, because it feels like we go back to pushing the same program. And I thought we supposed to be escaping the program. See, I feel like whenever we see these things, there shouldn't be no uproars. We shouldn't be making dissertations, and we shouldn't be, I don't think we should do that. This is just my opinion, so I don't want nobody to get offended on it. Because as somebody who studied all this stuff, so I understand what all this is just saying. It's just telling you that, oh, well, whenever you feel at your lowest, all this low shit, all this low energy, everything low energy is pertaining to your lower nature. You falling into a sense of just being selfish, just being at your lowest vibration, whatever that is for different people. Why do we still push the notion of these outside entities? I don't get that, because I feel like they're still spiritually shackling people's spirituality. And I don't want to shackle nobody's spirituality. You feel me? Because I feel like we better equipped if we understand than we are just reverting back to that whole fear paradigm and just saying, oh, well, this is this. But we know better than that now. So if we know better than that, why are we still pushing that? It doesn't make sense. And then we say that we are elevated. No, we not. You're not elevated if you still talking about devil worship. I'm sorry. This just my opinion, because it just meaning that you ain't really did the work on what the devil is or where it comes from. So we still stuck at that place, because religion is a huge barrier. Religion is a barrier. Race is a barrier. Class is a barrier. Those are your most major barriers, because that's how people most of the time judge and condemn people. It's off their race, off of their class, or off of their religion. That's the main ways. That's the main thing that we using. So all these are 3 big ass triples, and then most of the time somebody falling and tripping over one of them. So when we fall into that comfortable space, because it's a comfortability, and it's very lucrative. It's very lucrative for people to stay in that fear space pertaining to this energy, whereas we could just free the people. Why we don't just free the people from that? Why we still shackling them, telling them to be scared of some shit that's just their science? I don't vibe with it, and I can't do that. I can't participate in that, and I know that that's wrong because from my study, you feel me? So that's just me. So sometimes I will get kind of passionate when it comes to that whole religion belief type of thing, because I just still keep seeing the trip ups, and it's like, we have to push those barriers. But I realize that everything isn't for everybody. Exactly, that great word. We save ourselves by our words. And I really feel like that is the scariest thing in the world to a human being, yo. The scariest thing in the world to a human being is facing themselves. It's absolutely facing yourself. Like, realizing that damn demon that you keep talking about is you. That shit's scary. I don't care what nobody tell me. And I will forever feel like at the root of us, that's the issue. We refuse to face ourselves. And as long as we refuse to face ourselves, we're not going to progress. We're not going to transmute this energy. We're going to stay stuck in this space where we keep trying to hide these things in the darkness. And it's like, we got to bring this to light. At some point, we got to bring this to light. At some point. But you can't revert, and when you see some voodoo, then you get scared. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still a program. It's still a program to keep you scared, to shackle you. Spiritually shackle you. Like, everything in this occult space, where this big ass fly come from? Everything in the occult space, right? The religion is the foundation of it. Literally, the religion foundation is built off of everything occult. Okay, they went into these spaces, and damn, this is a big ass book. So they went into these, they went in Alexandria, they went to all these places, all your indigenous, even they did all of this, took it all, and created what we know today as the religion. Now, yes, there absolutely is some good things. Dang, this is a big fly. Keep flying here. Now, yes, there are some good things that you can learn from it, that you can get from it. Why? Because it still comes from a spiritual system. We just been programmed to think that it's bad. We just been programmed to think that, they gave us hell, and hell did a number on us. Hell did a number on us, but it comes from Dante's Inferno. That's what, the divine tragedy? That's where it comes from. As far as Judaism, they don't even believe in hell. Why? Because that's not what it says. So how does, and it's, when you got 100 different sects of something, right? Like, at this particular point. So I don't even condemn people about their religion, yo. I really don't. But I do highly suggest that people be a little bit more open to things outside of what they traditionally been taught. Because you really don't know. Absolutely don't know. If you closed off to everything outside of your tradition, then 9 times out of 10 it's probably pretty much outdated. It's pretty much outdated. Everything is energy, and the God is words, the devil, and the devil is the bad side of God. Hey, that's a different conversation, man. That's a heavy one. See, I can't just throw that out there on a regular live. I can't just put that out there on a regular live. But it's so many meanings. The word has a German word created in the year. Yep, it is. So consider here for our religious folk. Well, the concept of it, the concept of hell, because as I stated in the original scriptures, they never talked about hell. There's no hell. So the whole concept of what that is came from out of that. So when you're looking into the Council of Nicaea and understanding how they came up with everything that they came up with to put in the Bible, it kind of speaks for itself. Levels that people gotta go for this type of convo. Exactly. It's steps. It's steps. And see, what happens is we'll get so far and then we'll say something from where we at. And people down here, that shit sound like you coming from crazy town. Because they don't know how the hell you got to where you at to say what you said. They don't understand what you're talking about. That's craziness. So you gotta be careful when you discussing some things with some people. Perversion by elites. Yep. They just perverted it. So I feel like if we just learned it for us, we ain't gotta worry about what they doing. Because I feel like that's the game. I feel like the game, right? I don't even like to acknowledge so-called elites. I don't even like to do it. Because I feel like it's like the Wizard of Oz. Like they just a wizard. Like they just a wizard. It's just an illusion. Like we believe it. Really, we Dorothy now. We got this. All I gotta do is click our heels 3 times. but we don't know. So we looking at the wizard to help us, or to be what we idealize as the wizard, when in reality we got the damn power. But if we believe in looking at them, we giving them the power. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. I want us to stop giving our energy away. I want us to start giving our energy away, because it's all about us. And if it's all about us, why am I going to when I learn your energy is your currency, I'm very particular about what I give my energy to. I'm very particular. I'm very, very particular. I don't want to just give my energy to anything. Like anything you put your focus on, you put your attention to, you paying your currency. See, this paper money is just a representation of that. We the money. You the money. You give the money, the currency, the energy. Don't ever forget that. When it comes to money problems, don't ever forget that you the money. You the energy. You the currency behind the money. That's all that paper represents. Remember, it's just a note. That shit ain't real. You give it the power that you give it. So as long as we acknowledge the things that we don't like, we're giving it more energy. We're giving it more focus. Like, think about it. Like, look at what is most popular on your news feed. Just look at your timeline. People are going to share more of the negative than they are going to share of the positive. People are going to gravitate to that negative story than they're going to gravitate to that positive one. Because why? It's almost like an addiction. And when you really look into the body and understand the body and the mind, every time that it is an addiction, because your body releases certain hormones, and your body becomes addicted to it when these things happen. So it's a pattern. That's why it's a pattern. That's why it's a frequency. That's why it's a vibe. That's why it's your vibration. But it's deep. It's deep though, because it take a lot to change it. It take a lot to start thinking different. And see, what we don't always realize is from the very beginning you don't have control, because we start off as children. That was the point of that video of Bruce Lipton when he was talking about the Matrix is a documentary, because we have to understand that the first 7 years of our life is when we are being programmed. That is beyond your control. There's nothing you can do about what you learn in your environment while you were growing up. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing you can do about what you absorbed when you was in the womb. There's nothing you can do about it. Not initially, no. So you are starting off with what you inherited. You starting off based off your parents. That's your karma from the beginning. It's your family. That's why you can't get along with your damn family. That's why you can't get along with your family now. That's why. But it was necessary. Understand that that's the path that you chose, though. You had to come through them. You had to come through them to make the transformation that you had to make for your soul in this lifetime. So you had to go through them. So it ain't to blame them. We can't blame them. They just are who they are. They are who they are. And we are who we are. You feel me? It's our job to remember who it is that we truly are. It's our job. It's not their job. Now, if you grow up in a family that's like that, then that's a blessing. But if you didn't, then that's your initiation. That's your initiation. That's your initiation into this life, into this path. Is you being born in what you being born in and having to find your damn way back to yourself. That's your initiation. See, we used to have a means to go through that in the past. We don't have that no more. It's just how you living. Because this the underworld. This is the underworld. This is it. And remember, all your trauma is what shaped your shadow. That's what shapes your ego. So you go through all you go through for a reason. Because your shadow is keys to to your higher self in your shadow. But you got to address your shadow. Some people go out their whole life and never address their shadow. So, like, that's the key. Like, you have to face yourself. It's going to be the scariest thing in the world. It absolutely is. But everything you could ever dream of is on the other side. And once you realize that it's just you looking at you, oh, it gets different. It gets fun. See, it's not fun right now because it's like a nightmare. But when you wake up and realize and you start lucid dreaming and you start controlling your dream, oh, this is a different ball game. Oh, this shit is fun now. It becomes fun. But you got to take the power back, though. See, you can't get all into it. See, because a lot of this power can lead you to depression. That's why I always encourage people to study the occult, you know. Because if you don't, you're not going to know how to deal with that darkness. You're not going to know how to deal with, well, what you going to do, though, now that you have left the church? How you going to establish a spiritual system? How you going to escape that religious program, that actual program that you revert to a savior? How you going to get out of it? So you have to be able to get out of it. If not, you're just going to substitute. You're going to find yourself right back in the same pattern. You're going to find yourself right back in the same pattern. See, that's why a lot of times we hate to go back. Like, to our old places, to old homes, to places where we know trauma is at. Why? People often revert to their old patterns in the old environments. I know right now that's why I don't like going home. I don't like falling back into them old patterns. I don't like falling back into them old feelings, them old emotions. But the mere fact that they can come up and I can feel like that, it's like, damn, I still got some shadow work to do there. I still have some work to do there. I still got some work to do there. So I got to get to the root of that. Damn, why am I, what is it? Is it something that I'm running from? Is it something that I'm trying to escape? How do I feel when I am around, these specific people? Why am I feeling this way? What is this? You got to dig deep in yourself. It's like interrogating yourself. It's like interrogating yourself. And you don't always like the answer. And that's the thing. You're not going to like the answer all the time. You're gonna have some fucked up feelings. You're going to have some feelings that's so dark. You're going to be ashamed that you feel that way. You're gonna be like, I can't believe I feel like this. You're going to think, listen, but you have to move through them. You can't act like they don't exist. That's just the other side of you. And it's only temporary. It's only temporary. Like, take for example. Okay. Damn. Alright, I'm a geek kind of person. So let's say as a woman, you're doing womb work. You're working on healing your womb, revisiting things, people you allowed into your womb, whether that was physically, emotionally, spiritually, maybe, you had unwanted pregnancy, maybe had an abortion, so to speak, or something like that. All that, it requires a healing, right? So your shadow self, right? Everything that you don't want to deal with about those type of things is going to feed that shadow. So take for example, if you don't want to deal with the fact of you really don't, like, let's say you had an unwanted pregnancy and it's unwanted because you really don't even know that nigga like that, or he a cheater and he not gonna do right by you, right? And so maybe you thinking that maybe you shouldn't have a child. Now maybe as a person that may really do something to you at a core for your values, because maybe you don't believe in it. Maybe you feel shame just even thinking about this shit. Maybe you feel shame just even considering this shit. But you can't, but that's the point. That's the shadow work. Is to realize that you are a human having an experience, and that you are entitled to feel some of the things that you're going to feel, no matter how good, no matter how bad they may be. You feel me? It's still you. You still got to work through them parts of yourself to make your decision, to come to your conclusion, to make the best choice, the best decision for you. It's not always something complex. Sometimes shadow work is as simple as that. You feel me? Sometimes it's just whatever means for you to deal with yourself. Some people take a more dramatic approach and are ritualistic in how they do shadow work. Some people do it through a lot of means of meditation, but it can still bring you to a place where you're going to have to confront something that you're not comfortable with. It's an uncomfortableness, So when you can get to that place, that's the only place where you're going to be able to grow. That's the only place you're going to be able to grow. Now, the way I see it, the way I theorize shadow work is it depends on the person. It depends on the individual. Because everybody's different. Everybody has different things that works for them that don't work for them. And that's why I advise, maybe astrology would be a good tool for you to be able to see and utilize what those things are. Maybe numerology is, whatever a person is comfortable with. Maybe they deal with voodoo. Maybe they deal with, Yoruba. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's just a means of, coming to that place. So, but, somebody sent a request to get on the live. Alright, I'm gonna do this time, man. I don't never do this, but let's see. The Mad Hog. Oh, it went away. I don't know what I'm doing. Huh? Yeah, this fly here is irking my nerves, man. Oh, you back now? Okay, alright. The movie Us was telling us about shadow work. Yep. The movie Us was telling us about shadow self. Guilt is man-made. A spell? It can be. It can be. It can be. It can be. Because people in your life are playing roles in your life. And sometimes if your lesson is around guilt, sometimes that person is there to play that role. Like, I hate to say it that way because it can sound so insensitive. But the more spiritual you go, the less human it sounds. Exactly, because you the one that's in your own ways. Always you. That's the ultimate breakthrough, is realizing it's nobody but me. So I gotta hop off though, y'all. But it was cool hopping on the live with y'all. We're gonna do another live soon. We're gonna do another live soon. Before I get carried away and start talking some more. But I just wanted to check in. We just wanted to do a little mental check. Kind of give y'all a little bit of inspiration, a little motivation. So I hope that, hope that it boosted y'all energy up a little bit. But yeah, next time, maybe we'll do we'll bring some people on maybe the next time. So, y'all cut your notifications on and the next time I hop on so y'all can jump in. But I'm out. Peace. Y'all be good.